Well, good morning, Gathering Network kids, and welcome back to Kid Zone. I am so glad that you're back here with me, and today we are finally wrapping up our teaching all about the Beatitudes. Now, did you know that we started this teaching all the way back in the middle of April? We've spent a lot of time talking about Jesus's most famous teaching in the book of Matthew in chapter 5. And today we're going to do a review of what we've learned. You're going to do some discussion. I'm guessing there's things you really remember, and there's probably some things that you have forgotten because we have covered so much ground over just a few short verses in the Bible. Now, if you can remember, Jesus's most famous teaching here in Matthew chapter 5 and the couple chapters after that is called the Sermon on the Mount, where he sat on a hillside and people gathered around him. As far as we know, hundreds of people came to hear him teach, and he was trying to teach the people what the kingdom of God is like. The Beatitudes are the few short verses at the beginning of Matthew 5 where Jesus helps us understand what it looks like to live as a part of God's family. Now remember, the word beatitude is just an old and fancy word that means blessed or happy. Each week of our lessons, we learned a different way that Jesus said we would be blessed for being part of God's family. Now, some of them might have made a lot of sense and it sounded like really good news, and some of the others may have left us a little bit confused. And remember today, a blessing is a gift from God in our lives, even when we didn't do anything to earn it or we don't deserve it. We learned, as you read this morning in Matthew 5 in those verses, God blesses those who are poor in spirit and realize their need for Him. God blesses those who mourn. God blesses those who are meek. We talked about what the word meek means. God blesses those who hunger and thirst for justice, for what is right or righteousness. God blesses those who are merciful. God blesses those who are pure in heart. God blesses those who work for peace, and God blesses those who are persecuted, treated wrongly for doing right when people mock you and persecute you and lie about you for the sake of Jesus. Now, we focus so much on these Beatitudes and these few verses because in this world, you're going to hear a lot of things like, we don't need God, you don't need God, only weak people need God. You should just do what's right for you. Don't worry about anybody else. You don't have to tell the truth. Nobody will ever know. You should do everything you can to be successful, even if you hurt other people. You don't have to apologize. They should apologize to you. We are going to get so many messages, a lot of those and even more coming at us all the time from people around us who don't follow God, trying to tell us all the ways that we should put ourselves first, even if it means hurting other people. Jesus teaches in the Beatitudes how important it is to live a life that is under God's authority, that He is the one who directs us and tells us how to live. And when we do that, when we follow Him and obey Him in those ways, it won't just be good for us, it'll be good for other people too. And in these verses, Jesus is also telling us and reminding us it's going to be hard. It's not going to be an easy thing to do. There's going to be a lot of challenge, but there is blessing for those who do. Now, This is kind of an upside down way of thinking and living that isn't like the way the world tells us to live. Now, today in your groups, with your parents or with the adults you're with, take some time to review each beatitude and see how much you can remember. I'm guessing there's some things that'll really stick out to you that you remember us talking about, and there'll be a few things that might be a little fuzzy or confusing. Now, for you leaders, any adults in the room, there is a discussion guide located on the Kids Zone page of our website, so you can review each beatitude with your kids, and it has a summary of what we talked about in each of those lessons. Now, next week, we're going to start a new series together talking about what is the Bible and how do we understand how to read the Bible and how it was written and what it means for our lives. And I cannot wait for next week. I hope you guys have a great day together, and I'll see you then.